Shabbat Shalom, my friends. Welcome to SIYYUM time. L'sayim in Hebrew means to finish or to complete. A SIYYUM is an event that marks the completion of any sacred activity. So, for example, if, God forbid, after the death of a loved one, member of the family, you hold 30 days of study. At the end of those 30 days of study, a SIYYUM is held. If the community is writing a new Sefer Torah, at the end of the process of writing the Sefer Torah, a SIYYUM would be held. Some teachers hold that if you're performing a mitzvah and it takes a very long time, then you can hold a SIYYUM. So it was in 2020 that 90,000 people showed up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey to mark the conclusion of a 7.5-year process in which day by day the Talmud was studied from the beginning to the very end. That event was called SIYYUM HaShas, the SIYYUM for the study of the Talmud. So today we complete our study of the first book of the Torah, Genesis, and we call out Chazak, Chazak v'nit Chazek. Let us be strong, let us be strong. Let us strengthen one another. And then, what do? We hold a SEUDAH. Of course we hold a SEUDAH, a celebratory meal. Every SIYYUM calls for a SEUDAH. My menu always is gefilte fish, chopped liver, pickled herring, ragalach, cinnamon, challah, the works. So this Shabbat morning, after we hold the SIYYUM, we should hold a SEUDAH. Our Sedra this week, the very last Sedra, VaYechi, book of Genesis, Genesis 47:28 and following. The whole process of trying to figure out what's going on in this Sedra began with Aristotle and his ethics, and was then refracted through the writings of the 9th century Muslim philosopher Rabbi, a metaphysician, an ethicist, a cosmologist, a mathematician. Maimonides learned from Rabbi, and in the 12th century, he called the process of creating an ethical system, creating a Shvil HaZahav, the golden mean, the golden pathway. That golden pathway then became central to what later on became important to the teachings of Musar. Musar, a movement of Jewish ethics, ethical behavior that began in 19th century Poland. And the imperative that an ethical life requires a life of moderation, not of extremism, has become common currency among Jews today. To our Sedra, it's almost impossible to trace truth as an aspect of an ethical life throughout the story of Joseph, his father Jacob, and Joseph's brothers. Joseph's teenage years were filled with outright egotism blended with outrageous narcissism. Egotism, narcissism. The brothers, with perhaps an exception or two, found rage and jealously driven revenge to be a comfortable response to Joseph's many-colored, inflated vision of himself. And Joseph, even as he placed all glory before the throne of God, found it easy to lie, to deceive, to cruelly toy with his brothers. Now, Jacob had just died. The brothers were once again fearing for their lives. Perhaps Joseph, now freed from Jacob's presence, will again attempt to take revenge against us. So they came before their brother and lied. They told Joseph of a fictional statement that Jacob had urged them to tell Joseph that their now deceased father wanted Joseph to really forgive his brothers for having treated him so badly. The brothers lied to save their own skins. I am indebted to the late Rabbi Lord Sachs for the following insights into truth and lying. Lying clearly doesn't have a noble place in Maimonidean ethics. The Shvil HaZahav has a strong preference for truth. Truth, emet, it is said, is one of the defining qualities of God, along with mishpat, emet, mishpat, justice. And you know that we're supposed to emulate the noblest of all of God's qualities. But avoiding the truth is all over the place in Genesis. It began with Eve blaming the serpent, Adam blaming Eve, and God trying to clean up how the divine should communicate with people. After all, this was a new skill. Avoiding the truth often then came to mark and typify the behavior of Isaac and the behavior of Jacob. Yet the Torah and then the Talmud make painfully clear how important telling the truth is in a court proceeding. A lying witness will face draconian punishment. And in the Middle Ages, medieval period, there is that wonderful story of the golem, that lump of clay. Do you remember how it was animated? The lump of clay was animated by putting 3 letters, Aleph, Mem, Taf, Emet, truth, on its forehead. When Emet was rubbed out, the golem returned to its original state. Truth is life. Truth is at the heart of the Jewish ethical enterprise. Or is it? I was grateful to be reminded of the Talmudic statement, Mutar lishanot. It is permitted to shade the truth, to change the truth, mipnei darkei shalom, for the sake of pursuing peace. So-called white lies and lies that emerge out of intentional omissions are actually permitted by Jewish law. But of course, only for the right reasons. And this reminded me of a letter that Maimonides himself wrote to the Jews of Yemen. And remember, this is the Maimonides who set the standards for the Shvil HaZahav, the golden mean ethical behavior. The Jews of Yemen were confronting horrible governmental pressure to convert to Islam or to die, convert or die. Maimonides counseled the Jews of Yemen to lie, to fake their conversions until they could get to a safe place and a safe time when they could re-embrace their Jewish identities. In most circumstances, most, but not all, if lying is what it takes to survive, then lie. The school of Shammai in the Talmudic period disagreed with this, demanded that truth must be maintained under all circumstances. When Shammaites saw a less than beautiful bride, they felt mandated to not say how pretty she was. The school of Shammai, Hillel differed. If she was beautiful in the eyes of the groom, then she is indeed to be celebrated for her beauty. There is a great midrash about truth in Genesis Rabbah. God was about to create Adam. The Malachei HaSharet, the ministering angels, argued among themselves whether God should in fact do this, whether God should create people. The angel of mercy, of course, voted yes. The angel of truth voted no. What did God do then? According to the Midrash, God threw truth to the ground and created Adam. Despite the ideals of Maimonides and the pathways of Musar, truth is complex. It can never be an absolute value for us. Sometimes a lie can comfort the ill. Sometimes a lie can placate the angry. Sometimes a lie can save the lives of the besieged. Sometimes a transparent lie can reveal deep truths about the person who tells that lie. And so it was for the brothers. Confronted by their transparent lie, Joseph wept. He felt their pain. He understood. And he responded with tender concern. In the pursuit of peace, in the pursuit of survival, in the pursuit of a caring society, truth is not an absolute value. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Let us be strong, let us be strong, let us strengthen one another, let's have the SEUDAH, Shabbat Shalom. See you next week. And that is the truth.